This week, it became legal in the state of Colorado to use marijuana without a doctor's recommendation. It's the second state to do so. Washington was the first. Now, the legal fate of these state laws is really uncertain since federal law still considers marijuana illegal. But the legal business of marijuana is already growing in 18 states where it is allowed for medical use. We recently spoke with Trip Keeber, CEO of Dixie Elixirs, a company that makes marijuana-infused products. Trip Keeber is the owner of Dixie Elixirs. He joins us from Denver, Colorado. Trip, do you consider yourself in the drug business?
I absolutely do not. We have been in the business for the last 3 years of making medicine for patients here in the state of Colorado, but we certainly don't consider ourselves drug makers.
Considering you sell not marijuana specifically, but elixirs derived from marijuana and other properties, where do you get your raw materials?
We have approximately a 50,000 square foot cultivation facility here in Denver, Colorado, in the city of Denver proper. And that cultivation facility feeds our manufacturing facility, which is a 27,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility here in Denver, Colorado as well. So we really control what is called from seed to sale.
Seed, you grow it, and then you derive the compounds from it to make your elixirs, your sodas, and your other products. Is that right?
We take the raw plant material and render it into a liquid format, a cannabinoid oil. The internal language we use is mother's milk. We take that concentrated oil and then we infuse it into 9 different delivery systems, what we call product lines, that represents just under 65 unique products that we serve here in the state of Colorado.
Trip, could your business have existed, say, a decade ago?
Not likely, because the medical marijuana movement is really still in its nascent stages, just less than 10 years across the country. California was leading that effort. In the last 4 years, the state of Colorado really became at the forefront of this movement. And certainly in the last 2.5 years, things have really stabilized. Colorado has been extremely thorough in providing a strongly regulated and compliant model that I think many other states are starting to look at and develop their models after.
To that point, Trip, how limited is your market right now geographically?
You're talking about 105,000 patients to in excess of probably 1 million consumers of the product overnight. I think that number will be conservative when you take into consideration potentially the marijuana tourism aspect of it, which could be in effect doubling. But in effect, the market has grown tenfold overnight with the passing of 64.
Your website states Medical Marijuana Inc., your parent company, does not grow, sell, or distribute any substance that violates United States law or the Controlled Substance Act. How do you put these two together? Colorado state law allowing for legal consumption, but federal law not?
Well, it's an interesting dynamic. Specifically, Medical Marijuana Inc., which is a publicly traded company, I'm a board member and officer of that company, actually does not own anything directly related to the cultivation, manufacturing, or distribution of these infused products. What we own is the intellectual property, the formulations, the research and development through a portfolio company called Red Dice Holdings, of which I'm the president and CEO. So it's a delicate balance, but we're absolutely committed to making sure that we adhere to all state and federal rules as it relates to the ownership of these various entities.
The holding company structure helps you out with that. You did $3 million in revenue in the last quarter. What's next year look like?
I would imagine the next 12 to 14 months, the addressable market here, or the revenues, will grow to an excess of $1 billion. Currently, my company, Dixie Elixirs, distributes to just under 500 of the 523 medical marijuana centers in the state. So we have almost ubiquitous coverage. So I'd say our distribution is going to position us very nicely for what the overall growth in the market is going to offer.
Trip, we have to leave it there. Trip Keeber along with us, owner of Dixie Elixirs. We're going to hear a bit more about Dixie Elixirs' business model and whether legalized recreational use is the new competition.